So hey guys. Just wanted to I've been trying to do this since Lifesavers. I just haven't got around to it. We've been really busy. But lots of good stuff, lots of results. So anyway, uh I ran through our data with you right before you did I did my presentation thing, and I kind of butchered the data. And so I practiced a lot. And I think I killed it at Lifesavers. So I wanted to just run back through and actually present the data in the way it should have been presented. I sat down with you guys, I had just made some pretty significant changes the night before because I had like an aha moment where I was trying to figure out what I really want to show, and I had this aha moment, and it was like, okay, and now I know that's how I want to go, but I wasn't really sure how to present it, so I worked on it a lot. So I just wanted to make a quick video. So watch this at your leisure. It's probably gonna be like 15-20 minutes long because I have diarrhea of the mouth. But it's all really good stuff. It's actually pretty amazing, like what we collectively have done. So let's do it. So I'm gonna share my screen. Okay. So, you guys seen this. I put this in just because Gloria and Emma are gonna want to see this. So I don't really have a new headshot. There's, well, I don't like pictures of myself, but I found a headshot I liked. So look at that dude, huh? That was my high school photo. So in the conference, I said, I'm not going to tell you what year this was taken, but that is a purple silk shirt. So if you are around the same age as me, you'll know about the 3-year window when silk shirts were the rage. And you can probably date that photo pretty close. So we know get to let's get to the data. Okay. So let's talk about Idaho. So the whole point of this, right, is just letting people know that even though we're focusing our work on the rural areas of North Idaho, we're not taking for granted the area that we live in, which is Kootenai County, which for all intents and purposes for our presentation here, right, we're going to consider urban in Idaho. And that's Idaho urban, right? That's not Cincinnati urban. That's not, Dallas urban. We have 180,000 residents in our county, and I believe we're the third largest county in Idaho. So just to let people know, we are still doing a ton of activity in Kootenai County. As you can see, there was 340 car seat checks performed in Kootenai County in 2023, and we were responsible for 338 of them. The other two, actually, they are from Spokane. They came over to a gal that works in Post Falls. She has a little baby boutique, and she charges for car seat checks. So, uh, so those weren't actually provided to Kootenai County families, but they were done in Kootenai County, so we counted them. And they weren't done for free. Like you have to, if you want a car seat check with her, she charges you like $20. So any free car seat check that families accessed in Kootenai County came through us. That's all there is. So here's a map of the state of Idaho. This red, this is what we consider our service area. These are the 10 northern counties of Idaho. These are all of our locations, and we're really proud of the way that we place them. You'll see that big swath on the right there where there's nothing. And you might say, well, why didn't you put a car seat check there? Well, the reason there's nothing in that area is because there is nothing in that area. There's very few roads. There's most of that you can't even drive through. Like it is 100% wilderness. So going forward, we're going to be talking about the rural residents of 9 northern counties of Idaho. So we're taking out Kootenai County. We're just looking at the rural residents in these 9 other northern counties of Idaho, because Kootenai County, for the most part, right, they have access to services. We're here, our office is here. We have car seat checks available at least twice a week, if not more. We do emergency car seat checks. So people in Kootenai County have access. Okay. So our REO program, right? We cover more than 19,700 square miles. And then that's more area than Maryland, Hawaii, Massachusetts, Vermont, New Hampshire, New Jersey, Connecticut, Delaware, and Rhode Island. So pretty impressive. We're covering more area than like 6 or 7, 8 different states. And then what's really cool is 80% of the rural residents in these 9 counties live within 6 miles of one of our REO events. So 111,000 Idaho residents, rural Idaho residents in these 9 counties, the furthest they have to drive to get to one of our events and obtain education, get access to prevention education equipment, right, is 6 miles. That's it. Like that's the furthest they have to drive. So we're really proud that we were able to spread our sites out to get an amazing stat like that. So let's look at distribution numbers. So what happened in 2023 in these 9 northern counties of Idaho? Okay, so when I say organic activity, what I'm referring to is activity that happened without outside of Safe Start. So this is what's going on just organically in that activity, apart from what Safe Start does and apart from what our REO intervention does. So this is what it looked like in 2023. So in 2023, in the 9 northern counties of Idaho, there was a total of 54 car seat checks performed. A total of 50 car seats were given out, and you can see, right, there's a couple counties that have absolutely no car seat checks performed. So not a single family in those counties accessed a car seat safety check in 2023. Okay, so I think that's important to note because many of these counties are what we would call underserved, right? Benoit, Boundary, Idaho, Lewis, Shoshone, like they're underserved. Okay. And then we get to like Clearwater and Latah, and the rural residents in Clearwater and Latah, right? They're not underserved. They're completely unserved. They're forgotten. They have no access. Nobody is accessing anything. So they are completely unserved. When we add in our REO interventions from 2023, this is what it looks like. Okay. So organically, 54 car seat checks were performed in these 9 northern counties with Safe Start's REO program. Our REO program was responsible by itself for 344 car seat checks in these counties. So when we look at the data, I'm sorry, I'm sick today and it's been a week, but I apologize for my sniffing. Uh, So we look at the data, right? Safe Start is responsible with our REO program for more than 90% of the car seat activity in 7 of these 9 counties. Okay. We're responsible for greater than 85% of the car seat activity in 8 of these 9 counties. It's really, really incredible, like what our REO program has done, right? Like we've taken communities that had no access to services or were very, very underserved, and now it's completely different. So we can look at those numbers, right? And we can say, okay, this is great. We have car seat activity going on here, but I wanted a way to really quantify it, come up with one number that shows us exactly what's going on in an area that we can relate to other areas, and we're comparing apples to apples, right? Because different counties have different populations. So I created this thing called service access rate. So if you haven't heard about it, it's okay. I just made it up. Like literally 2 days. This actually came after we talked. This came like the night before I made my presentation in Denver. But I wanted a way to like tie everything together and compare apples to apples. So we came up with service access rate. So service access rate is the rate at which a community's residents are able to effectively access a program's or service, right? It's not just a measure of whether or not a community has access to a service, okay? But whether or not people are actively using that service. Okay, a great example is we can take our Buckle Up for Life funded Toyota Cincinnati Children's Hospital 2022 Toyota Tundra, hook it up to our mobile safety lab. We can drag it down to Grangeville, Idaho, and we can park it in on the main road, and we can set up our tent and say we're open for business. But if we don't do the background work, if we don't have a community partner that allows us to easily reach the people we're really trying to target, if we haven't done our work on social media, if we haven't done our work reaching out to people we've served previously and said, hey, we're coming back, You had a great experience with us. Tell some friends, tell some neighbors, tell some family. Okay. If we're not doing that, right, and we don't get people to our trailer, does it matter? Right? It doesn't. Okay. So we can say that we serve a community, but if people aren't actively accessing our services, it doesn't matter. Right. So I wanted to make that differentiation because I think it's really important that like we could 100% go to Denver and present and say we are providing access to these communities. They haven't had it forever, and we are serving these communities, and that would be true, right? And anybody could do that, but without the data to back it up, right? Like providing access to services to an individual or a population, like what does that really mean, right? Like it's okay, it sounds great, but you know, I want more than that. I want to be able to know exactly what I'm providing to these and whether or not they're taking advantage of it. So I think that's super important. So we came up with this thing called service access rate. So for our purposes, right, we're expressing this in terms of number of seat check interactions per 1,000 residents. Really important to know. Okay, so a real quick primer, right? So service access rate, we have community A with 100,000 residents and 150 seat checks have been performed in that population. We have community B with 10,000 residents and 25 seat checks performed in that population, right? So we calculate service access rate, right? We break it down by number of seat check events per 1,000 residents. So in population A, our service access rate is 1.5. Population B, our service access rate is 2.5. Now, there's not more services overall being accessed by population 2, but people are accessing those services at a higher rate. Okay, and that's what's important, because the whole point of our REO program, right, was to really level the playing field, was to create equitable access to these families in rural North Idaho that have been under or completely unserved, for potentially generations. So this program is all about leveling the playing field, right? So I don't want to just get up there and tell you that, oh yeah, we have provided access to people. I want to show you results, right? Like access is it's great, but it's kind of cheap, right? Access is one thing, but if no one's using it, is it really access? So it's really important that we can differentiate between just providing access and whether or not people are taking advantage of those services. So that's what service access rate does. So, right when we started this, we said, hey, Kootenai County is kind of like these people have access to our services on a daily basis. This is going to be our baseline service access rate. Okay. So we know that people in Kootenai County, left to their own devices with daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, ongoing, easy access, we know that they're accessing services, that their service access rate is about 1.3. So that's important. So when we look at the service access rate of these rural northern counties, get rid of that thing. So we look at the service access rate of these rural northern counties in 2022. Okay, this is 2022. We see that we see 4 of these counties had a service access rate of 0. That means there was no car seat activity going on in that county at all for that entire year. Okay, very important. When we look at 2023, get back on my thing. Okay, this is what service access rate looks like in 2023. So we're really, I mean, it looks very, very similar. The important thing to note is that little blue line that goes across at 1.3. Okay, that is the service access rate of Kootenai County. So what we can say is in 2022 and 2023, 8 of the 9 rural residents in the rural residents in 8 of the 9 northern counties of North Idaho were accessing, right, seat check services at a rate significantly less than families in Kootenai County. Okay. We can say that for 2022 and we can say that for 2023. Now, when we add our REO intervention in to 2023, this is what it looks like. Boom. That's a mic drop moment there, people. And in Denver, there's there was about 4 times during our presentation when we got like spontaneous applause, and this was by far the biggest. Okay, so when we add in our REO interventions into 2023, this is what it looks like. So with our little program, right? And yes, I get it's 9 northern counties of this little state in North Idaho, right? I get it that on the scope and scale, right? We're not talking, Metro Cincinnati or Metro Detroit. I get that, right? But what we've done for 100 and 40,000 residents, right, in these rural residents in these 9 northern counties, right, because we serve 80%, but there's 140 that live there ish. What we've done is we've essentially changed, we flipped the script, right? Like it's a new day now, thanks to our REO program, the work of our organization, the support of amazing funders like you guys, the support of our volunteers, our partner organizations, right? Everyone that's come together to make this happen. Now we can say 100%, and this is a fact, that now in 8 of these 9 northern Idaho counties, rural residents are accessing C-check services at a rate not only equal to, but significantly greater than residents in Kootenai County. Clearwater County, which in 02 and 03 had zero organic C-check activity, right? None. They are now accessing services at a rate greater than Kootenai County. So this is absolutely amazing. The one outlier is Latah County. That's because we have one check in that county. And this is another amazing thing. This is only 6 months of data. In 2025, when I run this again, and we look at what we did over 2024, right? We're going to have twice as much data. The numbers are going to be even more staggering. So what we've been able to do together is literally change the way that families have access to services, and they are using it. They are coming out, and they are coming out in force. Uh, the one problem we have now is funding our program. Our program has gotten too successful, so that's what we're struggling to keep up with the cost. But we're writing grants like crazy. But it's just incredible, right? What a team of people can do with the right support and the right help. But and then I love saying this, that this was my big close at the conference. Said, what we've really done here is we've taken Kootenai County, right, which has all the resources in North Idaho, like resources upon resources upon resources in Kootenai County. We've taken Kootenai County, and for all intents and purposes, we've made them the underserved population when it comes to uh, accessing child passenger safety services. So I think that's absolutely incredible. We're really proud of what we've been able to do. And then we break it, we go one step further and we look at our service access rates. And then we calculate what we call a relative service access rate. So what we're saying is people in Benoit County are accessing services at a rate 2.3 times greater than families in Kootenai County. Bonner 1.2, Boundary 2.8, all the way down to Lewis County, which families in Lewis County, Idaho are now not only, right, not only do they have access, right, because access is kind of a slippery word. Not only do they have access to services, but they are accessing those services at a rate 6.8 times greater than families in Kootenai County. So I think that's absolutely incredible. I just wanted to share this data with you guys. I think it's absolutely amazing. Like it just makes me really like, I don't know, I kind of get uh, tingles because it's just like, wow, we've been able to do some pretty amazing things. Uh, Something I didn't say because I didn't have the guts to do it. Uh, when we were walking down to the presentation, I told Liz, I said, "Hey, I'm thinking about saying this. Let me know what you think." And I told her, and she goes, "You should say that." And I'm like, "But I feel like I might piss some people off." And she's like, "Well, but it's good." So what I didn't end up saying it, but what I wanted to say was, in the child passenger safety world, right? We love to talk about equity. We love to talk about it, right? We love to do studies on it. We love to figure out why children in Detroit, why African American children in Detroit have significantly higher, uh, 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 mortality when it comes to car crashes. We love to talk about all this stuff and research it, right? And trying to figure out the underlying causes. Like we love to talk about it. I've had, I've been doing this 7 years and I've had 7 years of talking about this stuff. Uh, most of the presentations at Lifesavers were talking about, data and presentations about, oh, providing equity to communities. But what I really wanted to say was, we love to talk in the car seat world, we love to talk about equity. We love to talk about it, but we don't always necessarily do a lot about it. And I think this shows that really, right, in a short amount of time with, a moderate amount of support, right, we've literally created equity, more equitable outcomes for these rural residents. And it's not that hard to do. So maybe if we take 10% of the energy we take talking about it and researching it, and we put that towards actually, hey, I don't really care why, children in this community in Detroit or wherever are more likely to die a child passenger safety death. I don't care, right? What I care about is let's go there. Let's get some car seats out. Let's get some education out, right? Like I don't need to know why it's happening. I know it's happening. Okay. And I know that they need the resources and the support and the education. So maybe let's maybe spend some time doing that. But I didn't have the guts. So anyway. But yeah, so literally this says, hey, a couple crazy people, well, one crazy person, one sane person that keeps the crazy person in check, and some amazing people behind them to fund them and be partner with them and believe in their dream and say, yep, we think this can be done and we think you guys are the people to do it. This is what can happen. So, and I get the scope of it, but it's a freaking start, right? It's a start. So I just wanted to share that with you guys and present the data in an actual decent way. But like removing barriers, right? Providing access, rural communities accessing services at a far greater rate than urban communities. This is freaking equity, man. This is freaking equity, man. And it's not that hard to do. Yeah, it takes some work, but it's doable. So I just wanted to share a good presentation of the data and the whole with that whole service access rate that I figured out. So again, thank you guys for everything that you do. We love you guys. Like whatever you need from us, let us know. If we can ever do anything to help you, please don't hesitate to reach out. Like if you ever think, hey, I wonder if Brian and Liz would, the answer is yes. Okay, just let us know what you need. Like we are 100% on board. None of this would exist without you. So hope you guys have a wonderful day. And we are we're packing up tonight and we're heading to Montana. We have 3 events over in Montana. So hopefully we'll talk to you guys soon. I think we have an appointment coming up. So we'll chat with you guys soon. But I just wanted to share this data with you. So everybody have a good day. And I'm gonna go home and take a nap because I don't feel well. Talk to you guys later.